Recently, I retouched an image that required essentially body painting digitally. It was actually supposed to be an outfit for a superhero costume, but because of the way costumes are drawn in comic books, they just don't come out looking the same in real life. So if you've ever read a comic book, you know you got some skin tight costumes in just ways that are totally unrealistic for real life. So what we needed to do was take this image into the computer and digitally through Photoshop paint this costume on a model that was wearing nothing. I did that, and some of the techniques I used, I got a lot of questions on, so I'm going to address those today and show you really quickly and easily how you can do some epic body painting with a few simple adjustments in Photoshop. So here we go. I've got my model. She's ready. She's enjoying the breeze, and we're about to paint onto her. Now, the outfit I had to paint was black, and black is exceedingly difficult to make look realistic, but I'm going to show you a spot-on way of doing it. Right now we're going to create a new layer above our background. So this will be the layer that we paint on, or one of the layers that we paint on. And we're going to paint black. Let's start with black. Black is probably the hardest color you're going to paint onto skin. Pay attention to the contrast of the skin, because that's really what's going to make or break the realism of this. So we've got lights, we've got darks, and we've got contour here that if I were to just paint over it with a black brush, let's try that. Black brush, right click. I'm going to use a pressure sensitive brush because I have a pen over here. If you don't, no biggie, you don't have to use a pen. I'm just going to use it because it's easier. And I've got black. And I'm going to paint. Not impressive. This is probably exactly what you expected to see. Just a black splotch in front of your model. So how do we make this look like it fits on the model? You could try using blend modes if you want, but I think you're going to find none of the blend modes are going to work. None of them will make black look right. Maybe if you're using a lighter color or a mid-tone color, they'll look okay, but blacks are just not going to work through these normal blend modes. So I'm going to hit Control Z and undo what I painted. We've got to make this look realistic. So in order to do that, I'm going to show you how to use the blend if commands in Photoshop. And if you've never done it, it's going to blow your mind. So here we go. Let me just paint a little bit to begin with. Just going to give her a little outfit here so we have something to sample when we go to change the settings. Alright. So let's just pretend we painted her whole upper torso black. Now, I'm not a professional body painter, so forgive me for any mistakes. Alright, there. We have a really blurry, fuzzy black sweater on her now. So we're going to go over to our layer that has the black paint. We're going to right click on it and hit the blend options up here. Right down at the bottom is the blend if commands. We're going to leave everything default except this bottom slider. If you've never used this, you're about to be mind blown. It's really cool. So underlying layer is the slider we want to change. And you'll notice if you start changing the slider right away, you get some kind of weird results. Not really all that flattering, but you notice that it's kind of like the levels slider if you've ever used that. So you have the white on the right side of the slider and the black on the other. So what's happening is Photoshop is being told by you to blend your layer if the underlying layer has white. And how much white? How sensitive do you want it to be to that white? Or to the black. So if I drag that one, the shadows will start blending. Now I'm going to use this to my advantage, but first I have to split these cursors. You're going to do that by holding the Alt or Option key if you're using a Mac and clicking on that cursor. So you notice when I do that, it splits it in two. Now I can drag only the left half of the cursor and watch the difference that it's going to make. You see that? Wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I have split this cursor using the Alt or Option key, and I've dragged the left side of the cursor towards the middle. Now what's happening is it's feathering that blend, so it's not such a hard blend anymore. It's actually feathering the light areas of the image underneath, blending those. So essentially where the light's reflecting on the skin. And because my paint is black, I don't really need to worry about blending the shadows because they're the same color as my paint. So I hit OK. And look at this. That's not bad at all. I'm going to paint a little more and show you how this works. So if I just go ahead and keep painting with my black brush, you'll notice that wherever light is reflecting off the skin, it's not painting. In fact, she's wearing black lingerie. It's not even really affecting that. It's going in between the holes there, which is perfect. So I can make it look as though I'm painting all the way down, even over the lingerie. Now, it's not perfect. It's going to have some problems probably around the hand. You may not like that look, and maybe you do. Who knows? Let's just paint the arm. So there you go. I have a painted black model. I just paint her all the rest of the way. Now, you could do this with any other color, but depending on the color you're using, the sensitivity of the blend modes would need to be different. So there we go. I have black body paint, and it's pretty darn convincing on this model. What if, though, it were white body paint? If you're a really smart cookie, you've probably already figured this out. So let me turn this off, and we're going to go to a new layer. On this layer, we're going to use some white. I'm going to hit X on my shortcut. That flips my foreground and background, and I have the default foreground and background in black and white. So if you hit X, they bounce back and forth. I'll get my white, same brush, start painting. Now I won't do much of this, just to show you the technique. So now I've got some white paint up here, and I need that to look like it's painted on her body. How do I do that? You basically take the same technique we just used, but reverse it. So in the blending options, the underlying layer, you want to take the black side, hold Alt or Option, click, drag. So as I do that, you'll notice what's showing through now is the shadows, the darkest part of the image, which is perfect because that then brings in the contour. I don't really need it to show the light parts. You can always go back and adjust this later. So you could adjust it to be more sensitive if you wanted. But this is actually a really good simulation of what white paint would look like on a model when they're being body painted. So I can just keep painting away here, and the contours of her body are still going to be visible. This is a really cool and useful technique that you can use even if you were blending like an image you wanted to overlay on your model. Or suppose you had a tattoo that you'd drawn and then scanned in or something, you can put that onto your model and you can blend it in the same ways. So using the blend if commands is a brilliant way to simulate body painting in Photoshop, or paint costumes, or paint tan lines. You can use a really low opacity brush with skin tones and paint a tan over your model if you want to, using these same techniques. So great technique. Blend if, go do it. Body paint a model. Show me what you got. If you have any questions, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe for more cool stuff in the future. Have a good day.